Good morning. Getting set up here. Sorry about this. Singing. What's? Okay, up and running. Green. The fans are roaring here. Something's going on. The fans are roaring. No idea. I restarted the machine just before we started, so it should be okay. Okay. What are we up to today? We're back to the two boys. The gift print carving is finished. It's upstairs. They spent the last, not the last 2 days fully, but they've spent time during the last 2 days test printing. Today, Dei-chan's going to do one more batch, and we will decide which version or what to do and run from there. Paper is out. Thank you. Paper is out for Ayumi-san. She's printing the Summer Tea Fields, and Dei-chan is printing the Plum Blossoms print for our gift print selection, which goes online again today or tomorrow, whenever Cameron and I can get it sorted out. So with the gift print carving finished, I'm back temporarily to the two boys. That will soon be interrupted by work on the first print of next year's subscription series, but we can hold that for a while. So what's on the schedule today? I guess carving, and we have a show and tell at the end of the stream. We're back to hokusai horses again. We're back to hokusai horses. Okay, for those of you who remember the story, the current block that we're doing is a color block for the boys' kimonos. I should make sure I don't screw up here. What was it? Oh yeah, the sitting boy's kimono is a solid color and it needs a pattern on top of it. The standing boy, his kimono will be a solid color with a pattern chopped out of it. So I prepared a block like this, which has the standing boy's kimono in full to the edge, and a duplicate, the sitting boy's kimono carved all over again. And today I have patterns prepared, and I will paste those patterns on here, and we'll remove most of this boy's kimono except the pattern, and we'll cut the patterns into this one. Hokusai horses, next hokusai horses. Okay, and to get the pattern here, I went back to Photoshop and traced patterns. I'm not using the original patterns that came with the print. The original print was much larger, and the patterns were quite delicate. And when you shrink it down, they just don't even show. They're not visibly interesting. So I just looked at another print from that era by the same designer, and I took a cross-hatched pattern. I'm going to take the same pattern. It'll be positive on his design and negative on his design. And how to get it on the block in the right place, this is a print taken from the block, taken from the key block. So we know these lines are in the right position. I'm going to take yesterday's Photoshop printout and put it in place, and that will tell me where this should be glued down. Wait, printing say no. We're carving still. We're carving. Someone says we don't need super precision in the positioning, but we can get super precision here. This is how we get the precision. This is how I pasted down the hair. Remember, I took the hair and did it again later. Well, those lines are the exact precision lines, and the corner of this paper is the exact corner. So precision here is as absolute as we want to get it. I think that pattern might be a bit too busy, but we'll see. We'll carve it, and if it's too busy, we'll chop some away. I think we're okay. No gradations on this print. I don't know. I don't know. We're sort of making this up as we go along, and the color blocks I've carved so far are just basic color blocks for the basic areas. The background, the wood, the bucket, stuff like this. Gradations, for the most part, aren't decided at carving time. Gradations are something that happen at printing time. Although, funny you mention that, because that's the point of today's show and tell. It's interesting you mention that, because today's show and tell, we're going to show an example of a carving screw up on some gradations. Not mine, an old-time print with a carving screw up. Dave does make mistakes, of course. Happy little accident. No, this wasn't a happy little accident. This was total, pure incompetence. You'll see when we get there. It's an interesting story, and actually, too, it's funny. Interesting. We'll see when we get there today, at the end of this stream. No, we are not going to have a peel today, just so you know. There's no peel, because this is a partial block, and I can't peel from the back of this, so we're going to have just a temporary rub away. Nope. No, no peel today. No peel. It's just no, a partial rub away. I can't peel when it's only a partial block. So. Okay. Okay, there's an easy one to do, just slicing those lines into the block, the negative pattern, and a difficult one to do, leaving the positive lines standing up and carving everything else away. Dave's normal habit, he tells himself, is to do the difficult one first and then follow up with the easy one. But this one is soaking wet. Put too much paste on there. So let's start with a bit of this one. And we can zoom in. I'm sure we can get closer than this. Let's have a look. So I was asking, is the gift print done? The carving is done. The blocks are upstairs. Rei-chan and Ishikawa-san have been doing some test printing on it, coming up with different ideas. And because this one is such a minimalist print, they have come up with tons of ideas. They've given me version A to Z and back to double A and around to double Z again. And when you do too much of that, the problem is so many of them look good. You're trying to decide, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? So I don't know. I want quite a minimalist print, and they are thinking that the version I want is too simple, and that people are going to think it's too boring, and that they won't sell very well. And it's quite possible they're right. I don't really know. We have to think about this. They want to add more. They want to add more stuff to it, more gradations, more this, more that. And I have to listen to them. That's what I asked them to do, was do test printing. So we'll see. Dave might not give what he wants here. I don't know. We'll see. So you see the concept here. We've got a solid color, and we're just going to cut out some lines. A crisscross pattern. It's a standard kimono pattern from back in that era. It has a name. I don't remember what it is. so you can see how it works. Just take away small bits. This kind of pattern is not going to be the fun part to print because each of the lines closes to a point, and it's usually tamari. The pigment blocks in the end of those lines. And because they work both directions, it's going to be tough to print this one actually. Can I zoom a bit? I can't zoom any closer than this. As you see, it just starts to blur if I try to go closer. We're at max here. This is the same camera, the same zoom that we were looking at the waterfall back in Ome the other day, and it really zooms quite well, but at some point, because here we're at an angle, the camera is looking at an angle, it can't focus properly. So. We had just today a bit of a neighborhood news here. You know, we've talked about the different shops that have been closing and stuff like that. And across the street, the real estate agent closed and is gone. We know that. It's got a sign on the door that says this building is for rent. But next to him, the lady across the street from me, the lady who sells bags, her shutter is closed. You can see it just behind the camera there. A week or so, was it a week or so, or 2 weeks ago, a crane truck came along and took down her huge, massive wooden sign at the top and took it away. And we were wondering, is she going to be closing or something? And then a few days ago, another truck came and took away her awning, which sticks out over the sidewalk. And she's not the kind of lady we can chat with. Hey, are you dying or something? We can't do that really, so I couldn't ask her. But yesterday, the mystery was resolved. Another truck came in and replaced her blue awning. So that was simply a maintenance job. Her awning had become too old and needed to be replaced. So they took away the old blue fabric. They must have measured it up or something and made a new one. So once I can see this is sort of okay, we know what's going on, I strolled over there while she was watching and I chatted and I said, good, looks like a nice new clean one. Nay, so. And she's yes. So you can chat like this, but you can't ask questions. And then she herself, she mentioned, and the big one up top, and I'm like, yeah, what happened to it? And she says, yeah, that went away from maintenance too, but that's taking a long time. It's a huge slab of wood. I mean, they needed a really big crane and wires and hooks and stuff to bring it down. And I guess it needs maintenance every decade or so. If it gets rotten and pulls off its hooks and fell on somebody, I mean, you've got fatalities there, so it's really important to keep it maintained. So she said that's out for maintenance too, and it'll be back soon, all freshly varnished and cleaned up. So she's okay. She's not going anywhere. But having said that, another news last night, the guy who runs the clothing shop at the end of the block here, it's called Sakura. It's the corner shop at the end of my block. He dropped in. He's a big, huge guy. He's about like 2 meters tall. He's from Israel. He runs that shop. He came in with his usual, how you doing? You okay? You know, and I'm like, yeah, we're hanging in there. And he said, did you hear about next door? And here we go. And I'm like, next door, give me a hint. What are we talking about? He said, the kimono shop next to you. Didn't you hear? I'm like, I thought they were okay. The girls were here just a couple of days ago. They had a few customers inside. He said, no, they're done. They're leaving at the end of the month. It closed. And how he knew was funny. He himself is looking for a smaller shop. He's obviously under big pressure. He's perhaps looking to downsize a little bit, a smaller shop or a shop with less rent. And maybe this is happening now. The pressure on the landlords to drop the rent is there. And as part of his negotiation with his landlord, he's looking around to see what's available. And he had gone to a local real estate agent saying, what's available in this area? And the first one they put on the table was the kimono shop next door to me. So even though the girls there are still working and they're open 1 or 2 days a week, it seems that they have pulled out. So. So that's the way she's going. One by one, the dominoes fall. This is easy. The other one's not going to be so easy. Yeah, the kimono shop. It's funny too about this kimono shop though, because on weekends here, there are lots and lots of young ladies prancing around in kimonos. And it's interesting, there's a nuance to this business that I hadn't known at all. What do you mean a long-lasting store like that gone? They open way after we're the long-lasting store here. Well, the kimono shop next door, they were a Kyoto company, and they came to take over the kimono rental business here in Tokyo. And it looks like now they're going to be they're out. They're running back to Kyoto. I don't know how successful they are back there, but they came in clearly aimed at the tourist market and people who don't have a clue what a kimono actually is. And some of the kimonos are of course very expensive, silk, you name it, blah blah blah. Some are a wrap, some are a polyester piece of stuff, whatever. They were aimed at the tourist market, and the stuff they had was whatever, easy to wash, throw it on, throw it off, and just run down the street not knowing how to walk. Some of the other companies in the background here in Asakusa tried it a different way. They tried to do official, authentic kimono. And it was more expensive, and the tourists, whatever, they just went by the price and didn't hang. But those companies now, one of them in particular, it's called Vasara. It's in the back. They are now doing okay. And they are renting, not to tourists, of course, who are not here. They're renting to young Japanese girls, and they have done it with an Asakusa mood. Instead of just Japanese kimono, blah, blah, take your pictures, they've done it actually with a taisho, what they call in Japanese, taisho roman. We've talked about this before, the mood that was here in the 1920s and 1930s, specifically here in Asakusa. I can't describe the fashion. It's a certain type of fashion sense. They wear a little beret sideways with a little flower behind their ear. And that's what the Japanese girls are coming to Asakusa to wear. And this shop doesn't do that stuff. But Vasara, in the background there, they do this, aimed at a Japanese clientele with a very specific sense and taste of the kind of fashion that they want. And that company is, I can't say they're doing well, I have no idea about that, but they're in there, they're hanging in. And these guys, cheap, quick, and dirty kimono photographs for the tourists, they are now leaving. So I'm told. And this shop next to us, this is an expensive rental, it's expensive. We chatted with the shoe store. We used to be a shoe store. We chatted with the owner when he left, and we're like, "Why are you leaving? You seem to be doing really well." And he says, "I cannot handle this rent." And it was 600,000. This is 3 years ago. It was 600,000 yen for the 2 floors together. They have 2 floors there next door. 6,000 yen. That's roughly $6,000. 600,000 yen is roughly $6,000 rent for 1 month for a little shop here. And that's why the shoe store guy gave up. The kimono people just ate it up, but now. So I don't know. That's going to leave 2 empty shops here on this street. Maybe I'm next. I don't know. Maybe I'm next. time for the rich to start buying up all the real estate. It's too soon. It seems I've read various commentary about this in the newspapers, you know. At what point do the people with money come in and start to do the scavenging? It seems too soon, it seems. I don't know, country by country, case by case, it's hard to say. I mean, who can call this? We're on a downslide. Where's the bottom? I have no idea what to say. No idea. No idea. No idea. 16 days and counting. This is to Japan, right? Okay. And he's coming to Japan. Coming along seems okay. I was talking about the size of the stream here on Twitch. We're still really, really low. I know there was this newspaper story in my newspaper a couple of days ago about Twitch, and I'm flipping through my newspaper, my physical paper newspaper, you know, and there's a story about Twitch, and I'm like, what? Twitch? These guys know what Twitch is? So I looked at it, and it was interesting. It was a story about a sort of a new thing that's happening on Twitch, new to at least to the person who was writing the story anyway. It has exploded, and I guess it turns out that people are playing chess or watching chess as a sport on Twitch. I guess this is probably not news to a bunch of you guys here. You probably are a part of this. And I was astonished again at some of the numbers involved. And some of these guys are streaming to like 100,000 people at a time, playing chess, getting sponsorships, making fortunes. And it seems like it's really, really a big deal here on Twitch. Nobody's offering me $500,000 sponsorships, but I guess that's okay. I guess it's a question of the entertainment value of the stream, obviously. So maybe we have to turn this into something competitive. How can we do this? Let's see, competitive woodblock printmaking. How do we do that? I don't know. But the fact that chess has a competition aspect to it, who's going to win, who's going to lose, the suspense, the story, that seems to make it more popular. So, and there was a couple of links in the story, so I clicked them and had a look, and there it is. There's people actually playing chess on Twitch and commentary, and and hundreds of thousands of people watching. Maybe it's because of lockdown stuff, but I don't know. Nobody's really on lockdown at the moment, are they? Anywhere? I don't know. But also, I tried on one of the links that was there. It said, "Watch this guy's channel." It was some, I don't know, Japanese guy living in America, something, Nakamura or something. I forget what it was. So the link was there. So I tried to click on it and watch one of his archived streams, and it said, "This content is only accessible to subscribers." I'm like, okay. I still don't get that. I just still don't get that, Put content up and then it's only available to people that pay to see it. I still do not get that. I'm sorry. Nakamura, that was the guy's name, I think. So I tried to look at one or two of his streams and I couldn't do it. Whatever. Am I carving the negative or the positive now? Well, I'm carving out pieces of wood. So this block will print as a flat pattern with white. It'll print as a flat color with white pattern in it. So if that's the negative one, I'm not sure which way you're using the words. So. I see there's lots of conversation over there today. I'll have a look when I'm having my lunch. Okay, I think that's this one done. There's one there's too much. I think too noisy. I think that side of it's done. This was the easy one. And again, that's against my rule. When there's a group like this, I would normally want to do the tough ones first. But okay. Now this one is going to be nowhere near like that. This one is going to be tough. This is not the hardest piece of wood either, so. It's not a very hard piece of wood. So what I'm doing, I've put some patterns in like this. Some of the patterns, I don't know if you can see if it's close enough. Some are straight crisscross. Two, 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 two. Most of them I've drawn that way. But some of them I drew as a sort of experimental pattern to try and make it look like there's an under and an over. I mean, you see it here. These things go underneath and these go over. And that means you don't have to carve, excuse me, you don't have to carve all the little corners in the middle. And I am thinking, here's one too, just straight like that. Here's one like this too, under and over. And I am thinking to do it this way on all of these, even the ones where I've done it as a crisscross, cut it first and then knock out two of the inside ones to leave it as an under-over pattern. And it's way, way, way easier, of course, without cutting all the little tiny squares. But is it cheating? Let's carve a couple and see what happens. This is backwards now. We're going to leave the lines and take away the other part. This is one soft piece of wood. I don't know about this, but whatever. Okay, here's the first one cleared. Wish I could get in closer. I'm sorry, I can't zoom in much closer than this. The first one is cleared there. And again, I've left the middle channel open. See? So we're leaving wood standing up here. This is going to be a positive. Oh, it's visible. So, and I've cut the middle channel open. So we have an over and an under effect. One of those pairs of lines goes under and one comes over. So it looks like some kind of a woven pattern. That's the way we'll do this. It's not the hardest piece of wood in town, but it's going to be okay. It looks like it's okay. There won't be much pressure on these when we're printing. Very, very light, soft pressure when we're printing. Oh, the pole is levitating, is it? Good. Cloud comes over the sun. There's questions, I'm missing them. I'm sorry, I don't know. Can I leave messages for Dave? Oh, yeah, okay, if you're asking why I'm here, there's some videos that talk about that. Another video, whatever, I shouldn't promise anything, but yeah. How's the Octopus Sprint doing? The Octopus Sprint is doing very, very well. Not as much as the Great Wave because we can't publicize it like the Great Wave. But the Octopus Sprint is in stock and steadily going. If you search for it, you'll find it. Levitating pole. So we should be famous for this. What are today's big announcements? What? Oh, you mean the I'm not sure what you mean about announcements. Cameron and I, at the moment, we're preparing the next email. What do you call it when you put an email update out every 6 weeks? Every 6 weeks for the past few months, we've been putting an email announcement out that says, hey, we're doing okay. Here's the new prints we've made since the last 6 weeks. And we're preparing one. It might go later tonight or it might go tomorrow. An email blast, whatever. Is that it? Okay. And whatever, it's no big secret. The email blast will feature the cat print that we saw, the second print in the Neko Hake series. It'll feature one that you haven't seen, a set of blocks I carved many years ago, which is being reprinted by the print kid for us. What else will it feature? Oh, the gift print. When we finally finish the gift print this afternoon, we're going to scan it, shoot it. The gift print will go online. There'll be discussion about the subscription series now wrapping up. We're not going to open next year's subscription series yet. That will open in November, I guess, if we're still in business. How can I get these emails? Just drop a note to any one of our email boxes. Just go to the mokohankan.com website, find a contact form, and just drop your email in the contact form. And Cameron will add you to the list. It's okay. We don't do a huge bunch of... I know there is confusion out there because people get email from ukioheroes.com and they get this sometimes daily. That's not us actually, but whatever. Some people are confused. They think that we are sending these emails from ukioheroes.com, and that's not me. That's my partner in crime in America overseas. But anyway, the next one is today or tomorrow. The way it's going, probably tomorrow, I guess. I don't know. So. Now, we had too much glue on this block. It was too wet. And a couple of places it's pulled off. You know, when I peeled the paper back, it pulled right off the wood. So one of those is missing here. So we're going to make it up. I was a bit careless chatting with you guys while I was doing it, and I put too much glue on the block. Too much glue. When I first lifted it up, I thought, crap, the whole thing is pulled off. Here we are live on stream. Big screw up by Dave. Luckily, it was just a couple of corners, so we'll see. I hear something, but I don't see anything. I don't know. Was it construction? One of the construction trucks for the crepe shop, kind of. They're coming along well. I know that's actually a bit of news yesterday too. The construction guys are working on the new crepe shop that's opening 2 doors down here, the other side of the kimono shop, the dead kimono shop. And they did something yesterday that really, really, really disappointed me. They've been doing a really interesting job. They have done the front of their shop looks really nice. It's kind of a, I don't know how to describe it, whatever. Maybe I'll take a picture and send it later on once they're finished and they're open. They've done a setback with a nice place to stand and a display case, just whatever. There's nothing to describe, but the design person has really, really, really done a nice, tasteful job. It's just nicely designed. And they also, it looks like the kids who are going to open the shop are doing it themselves. The kind of thing we did for here. You know, instead of hiring a big company to do a bland thing and build it, they built it themselves. But they did something yesterday that really disappointed me. There's a display, the first left 1/3 is a display thing for crepes. The second 2/3 is where you step in and there's a counter, you order and grab your stuff and walk away. And I was curious, what are they going to do at nighttime? Because what's the security deal here? Part of it is set back. So I was assuming they were going to get one of these shutters and drop a shutter in. No, they didn't. They've gone New York style. They've got one of these chain, I don't know what they're called. You know, New York shops have that thing they pull across, and it's a metal thing. It looks like the front door to a jail or something. I don't know what it's called. Whatever. There's a name for it. I have no idea. But they've got this thing, it pulls across, and it's all this metal thing in an X style, and opens and closes. It's a metal gate. And it looks like New York. New York, whatever. Don't diss me for dissing New York, but you know what I'm getting at. The streets at night with all those gates and chains and people walking by, and it looks like dystopia. And I'm really, really disappointed to see that here on our street. Tokyo, man, you could leave the door open all night and no one's going to bother the damn thing. So whatever. Dave's grumbling again. I'm sorry. Don't start grumbling, otherwise whatever. But anyway, I was disappointed to see that. I can't say anything to them, none of my business, of course. And maybe these days that's the modern way. Instead of these pull-down shutters, which in their own way are not so good, the street ends up being all shuttered and dark and gloomy. So whatever, maybe there's no big difference, you know. But I saw it and I thought, no. At least with our shop, we know we have a shutter. It was boring, bland metal shutter, but we spent a bunch of money getting it dressed up, getting a picture. Oh, of course, somebody on this stream here knows about that, the shutter picture. Koringami here helped us with that. I really felt it kind of a responsibility as a shop owner here to help keep the street looking bright and cheerful, and then, you know. Anyway, don't start complaining. We're good for time? Am I overwrapping time? We're okay to show? No, not even 9 o'clock. We're good. Yeah, they're visible. Sure, you can see how it's happening. Good, good, good. Slow but sure, slow but steady. It almost looks like the street pole with the picture is floating, or is it just me? It's just you. That pole is famous. Come and see the famous floating street pole in Asakusa. So it's a hallucination. Drink the Mokuhankan Kool-Aid and see the floating pole. Oh, that reminds me. Can I do this without destroying the stream here? We're all dreaming, no drop frames. Okay, let me get to. Oh, my Safari isn't running. Yesterday, I chatted with you earlier. I said the kimono shop next door is closing, blah blah blah, that sort of stuff to show. So when we heard that yesterday, we went to their website to see if, what was it? Is there any news? Closing into this month or closing this week or whatever, stuff like that. I went to their website, and I found no notice there about that at all. But I did find it interesting on their page. Where is it? Kimono rental Asakusa. I can't find it. I should have looked for this before starting the stream. There's no way I'm going to find this now. But the web page for their shop, if I can find this, it's just so funny. No, that's not it. Ow. No, it looks like I'm out of luck. I shouldn't have started something I couldn't continue. Anyway, whatever. The web page came up for their shop, and it showed the reservation system and stuff like this. And it said, if you want a reservation, click here for information. And then the page was, okay, you scroll down the page, scroll down the page, scroll down the page. No, it's Wargo, not Vasara, it's Wargo. You scroll down the page, and it had a link to the Google Street View thing. So as you scroll down the page, you see the Street View. And it wasn't a live Street View. It was captured. They had taken a shot of the Google Street View and then put it into their website. And they had caught the very day when we were out here, the Google car came by and it caught me sweeping the street. So yesterday, when I'm looking at this kimono rental web page, I scroll down and there I am on their web page, sweeping the street as the Google car came by. I'm sorry, I should tell you the story without showing it to you. I'm sorry, I should have prepared a bit more carefully, but I am captured for posterity, sweeping the street. Here's a scene of Asakusa in 2016. You can see the system of keeping streets clean. They hired foreigners to come and sweep every street in the city. keep an eye on the time for me, Nay. This show and tell. We'll need, I think, a good 15 minutes for today's show and tell to talk about it. So don't let me run late here. Keep an eye on the time, please. Although, having said that, I'm not quite sure what you can do about it. Underline still okay. Oh, somebody's found the old Street View picture. Sweeping. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What year? 2015. Yeah, it's about right. 2015. That was before the kimono shop came in, actually. Good. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Not the best broom. No, it was. It's not a. It's a whatever. If it's a little sweepy broom, no big deal. We're talking about a 2-3 minute job, just picking up cigarette butts and stuff. And the kimono shop, good. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. That's what I should have done in the first place. Sorry about that. Just tossed it out. So. I never saw the Google car come by that day. I had no idea. I didn't know that had happened until I saw the map, until I saw the photograph later on. I never saw it. It must have gone by right in front of me. Dave is looking for cigarette butts, and I never noticed it. And I guess if I had looked up anyway, it would have blurred my face. And you can see it's blurred out the photographs. You know, the comedians on the street signs. The Google system blurs out faces, so it blurred out the comedians' pictures. My moment, my 15 seconds of fame. Tokyo Street Sweeper 2014. Yes, I like this, you know, this over-under pattern. I like this. It's also way, way, way easier to carve. I'm not sure if I should admit that, whatever. So, what was my reason for choosing this? Let's not ask too deeply here. What's under the roof over the first floor balcony? It's blurred on the map. What's under the, are you speaking first floor as in European style or Western style? The first floor meaning the ground floor? I'm not sure what you mean. What's under the roof over the first floor balcony? We've got the shutter, then there's this blue sign that says woodblock printmaking, then there's the big Baron mark on the front of the balcony, there's an air conditioner behind it, there's a peaked roof over it. Where's the Baron sign? What's behind the Baron sign? I mean, I'm not sure what you're asking me, I'm sorry. Oh, it's okay, it is. All right, hi. Let's switch modes here. Switch modes. Show and tell, we've got a bit of a mix. This show and tell is mixed. This is mixed. Etone. First off, the ones we're going to show at the moment are in the Mokuhankan collection already. These prints are scanned and up on the Mokuhankan collection website. I didn't prepare a link. I don't remember the number. If somebody can help me with that, if you can go to the Mokuhankan collection website, look in the search box, find the drop-down menu in the search box for the series of prints, not these ones, this is Bridges, we did those. Remember our friends the horses. This is another series from Hokusai. It's the 8 Waterfalls series. It's Shokoku Taki no Meguri. And here we are, we're in the same era of Hokusai. He's 70-something years old. This is the 1830s, I guess. I don't know exactly. I'm sorry, somewhere 1830. So we're nearly 200 years old here. This is not 200 years old. This is a reproduction from the Adachi Company, which dates from maybe the 1970s. So the reproduction is about 50 years old of a print dating from about 180 years old. It's a series of 8 taken from, this is his peak. This is peak Hokusai. It's the same, just after he's done the famous Great Wave, after that series is finished, he did a whole bunch of other series, one after the other. One we saw last week, the Bridges with all the horses. And this is another series. It's Waterfalls from the Provinces. And the series is okay in general. We'll look at it in general, but then one specific technical thing I want to talk about. Where am I? Yes, it's more Prussian blue, of course. This is the era when Prussian blue is flooding the country and everybody and everything was using it for everything. The horse here has a good face. The horse face here is fun. We saw the horse before, Hokusai's standard horse prancing down the street covered with snow. This horse says, "What are you guys doing to me?" He actually has eyes and an expression. And I don't know, you tell me, this horse does not want to be here, or he wants to be here, or whatever. I don't have any idea. And this is a parody picture. And the parody is a legend. I know there's lots of waterfalls all over the country which claim to be the waterfall. There's an episode in history, Yoshitsune, after he's, blown away, lost his battles, and he's roaming the countryside. Apparently one day his horse was dirty, whatever, so he washes his horse in a waterfall. And that moment became legend. And now there's waterfalls all over the country that call themselves whatever. Yoshitsune Uma Arai Taki Tokahan. And this is one such one. And maybe this is the real one. Who knows? I don't know. So anytime you see this, anytime you see in ukiyo-e world, anytime you see horse near a waterfall, you know that you are looking at a parody picture of this. And I really wish I had a Takamizawa copy of this to show you to compare. We talked about this before. Adachi makes their prints clean and white and bright and cold and just clean. Clean. It's their philosophy. Takamizawa made their prints look a bit funkier and older and more beaten up. Adachi made their prints. The idea being that they want to make them look exactly like they looked in the old days. It's yakitate, fresh from the oven. We'll do a quick blow through the series because I want to spend more time on one specific one of them. This is a place that's in Tokyo today. This is the American Embassy in Tokyo. Not here. This is Tameike. It's a pond that was in Tokyo. And this isn't actually the waterfall. It's just a weir where the river goes down out of this thing. And this now is the location of the American Embassy here in Tokyo. There is no lake. There is nothing like this anymore. But that's, in his day, of course, it was a beautiful pond and a waterfall. That was the Tokyo representation. I don't know the places where these all are. I'm sorry, I don't know my history to know where these are all taken, where they're all from. So I can't give you the guided tour. And what these look like, this looks like a waterfall that is beside one of the roads, maybe. And these are normal workmen who carry work. No, what are they carrying? You tell me. What are they carrying? There's something ceremonial going on here. Clearly, they may be from a shrine. They're carrying some shrine votive markers. cleaning them under the shrine waterfall, perhaps. Sorry, I don't know the background to this. Classic Hokusai faces, and Adachi has done a really, really clean, nice job. And we talked about the same thing before. This is the era when Hokusai is determined. Every dot, every line will live forever, will show life, and it really does. Hokusai original and Adachi's boys have done the same thing. Skis, they're washing their skis, water skis. Or maybe actually we're looking at the after. They've actually skied down the waterfall and now they're coming up the waterfall. I don't know. Beautifully done job by Adachi. Okay, let's skip forward to the meat. We can't just look at these. Let me skip forward. Waterfalls, 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 waterfalls. Because one of these has a really, really... Oh, this is Kirifuki. This is up in Nikko. I've been there. It looks almost actually something almost like that. You can't get up to the top. It's way too dangerous. But it looks actually not different from that. Let's move ahead. This one. I want this one. Okay. This is, I forget the exact name, Amida no Taki or whatever. And I want to look at the technical thing. This is Adachi's copy. No, it's not Shusenji. It's in the same area as Shusenji. It's called Kirifuki no Taki. Kirifuki, the mist blowing waterfall. Okay, look at this one. Let me find it. I've got another copy. And there's a fun story to tell here. First of all, this is Adachi's copy, which is reproduced from an old original, and they have done a really pretty nice job of this. We see clean waterfall, a beautiful blue gradation in the water, and we've got things like this. Look, to show here the mist and water flowing away from this thing, they've got a beautiful blue gradation coming out here at the side. Okay, no problem. That's the way it should be done. Here is a not Adachi copy. I'm not quite sure exactly who made it. It was made by the local Craftsmen's Association in a set they made about 10 or 15 years ago. Here is their copy. And what do you see as a major big difference between the Kumiai copy and the Adachi copy? Even from the distance where you are, you can see, I think, a main big difference between these two. This is the nice Adachi copy, and this is another copy. And if I had just showed you this one first, yes. And what they've done here is those idiots, whatever, just keep quiet, Dave. What they've done is this. Let me pop up an image. This is a copy of this print in the Tokyo National Museum. And this is a copy, clearly, that our Craftsmen's Association friends used as their guide. And what has happened here, this is an old original, but it's printed super carelessly. What I mean is this. Let me put that away just for a second. Let me go back to the Adachi copy. To make this gradation here, you need a piece of wood that has enough wood to go to at least where the end of the blue should be. Now, you actually don't need a piece of wood that's all the full size of this. And if you're, trying to move it into if you're trying to save wood or whatever, put them in a smaller place on a larger block, you may not be able to do that. So what the original must have had, the original copy, to make this gradation, they must have cut the wood just about like this. And in the earliest copies, the printers just put blue at the edge of it, and they've never printed color right to the end of the piece of wood. But somewhere along the line, in the original era, the blocks were used again and again and again, and the publisher didn't take good care. And the printer back there, see where my finger is pointing at in that original over there on the right-hand side, the printer over there didn't make a gradation. He just slathered pigment over the whole zone here, and he got right to the edge of that. This was a mistake. He's done the same thing up at the top in this zone of the print. They've done the same thing. It's got a sharp, hard edge. So along come our friends here about 15, 20 years ago making their copy. They copied the version from the museum, and they just copied what they saw. They cut a sharp edge here and printed it to show a sharp edge. Because, of course, you're making a reproduction. You copy the original. Whatever. It's people just reproducing something without understanding exactly how it works. It's the same thing here. Look, this is a sharp edge here. The same thing. The block to make the gradation of this orange would have been carved to that level but the original printer would have just put pigment on the bottom of it. Adachi's version, actually, they've copied a different original. They haven't even put that gradation in the bottom. But these guys did the same thing. They cut a sharp edge where there should never have been a sharp edge. Here, and here, and here. Does it matter? I guess not, but whatever. To Dave here, I'm just going to laugh and laugh and laugh. You know, people reproducing something without actually understanding what they are doing. At least Adachi's boys took the time and trouble to figure out what was going on and did a really, really, really nice job. I'm not a huge fan of Adachi's current work because I think they've kind of lost the plot. But at this time, in the 1960s and 70s, they were doing really quite a nice job. What's happening in the picture here, of course, these gentlemen here, they are preparing some sake. They're picnicking at the edge of the waterfall, and their assistant, their little servant helper on a different mat, is warming up some sake over a little fire. And our two gentlemen are going to be enjoying, they've got sake cups ready, and they're enjoying their picnic view of the waterfall. Yeah, Adachi, obviously they took the time and trouble to either look for more originals, to study a bit more how the original was made, and the Kumiya guys just took that one copy in the museum and just reproduced it as it was. And actually, I shouldn't diss them too much on that, because the Kumiya guys, they're not professional publishers. They're just looking for work. They got the idea, let's make this set of prints. They're not really publishers themselves. They're just carvers and printers. And nobody there would have understood what to do. Did somebody pop a link to these prints on the website? Karen, you're mentioning about it. Look at the photos on the collection website. Did the link get pasted in here? Could you pop it in again if it wasn't done? Karen, please. We've got these on the website in super, super, super high resolution. Bingo. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Set number 61. What's another interesting one here? Some of these are pretty generic. But this one really is the famous one. And this one, actually, I've been here, and this one actually does look something like this. This is the famous Kirifuki. And this has been reproduced many, many times. Takamizawa has a version, Yu Yudo. Everybody and his dog reproduces this one because it's so popular, so famous. Water, water, water. Hokusai's water. It's just unique. As soon as you see this, you know exactly. You know exactly who did this as soon as you see these, you know. When you read the research articles about this, they are of the consensus that Hokusai never actually went to these places. His life actually seems to be fairly well documented, letters and diaries and all that kind of stuff. And they've got lists of places that he did go to, up in Nagano and areas like that. But most of these waterfalls apparently are just simply out of his own imagination. He never went to most of these places. Yeah, roots. Hey, that's funny. That one also, it looks like actually tree roots rather than water. Get my zoom backwards here, sorry, just a second. It's a very, very, very nice set. You know, I'm very lucky to have this good copy of it. You know, over the years we've had the shop here. We get numbers of sets of these broken sets, and most of the time they are heavily foxed or they are very moldy. And I was very lucky a few years ago that this set came in, and it must have been stored in a very nice environment, and it's beautifully white, beautifully clean. There's not a speck of mold on it. I'm very, very happy I got these. And now the world can see them. There's the pictures on the website. Yes, these are larger than the octopus. These are almost what you call a full Oban print, except they're a little narrower. in order to give the thing a feeling of a more up and down feeling, the publisher published these with a little narrower strip of paper, and they have a bit of a higher up and down feeling. But it's basically the same size paper as you would have on any famous ukiyo-e print, or like the Great Wave. It's almost the same size paper, but it's a little bit narrower to give it a vertical feel. Anyway, I've just showed you a little glimpse of them right now. They are on the website at the link somebody just showed you up there in very, very, very high resolution. You can zoom in really super close. There's no descriptions there yet. I'm sorry, we're way behind on getting the descriptions made for the website. And also now there's nearly 600 prints up on the collection site, and you can browse around and poke through. Okay, I think that's about it here. I really wanted to just show that one print in the two versions, because to me, as you know, I'm mostly interested in the technical aspects of these prints. They're nice pictures and stuff. That's very nice. But Dave here is really mostly interested in the technical parts, and to see the quality difference there, to see the nice carving and the strange carving. This is the kind of stuff that rings my bell. So whatever. This is the kind of stuff that floats my boat. Anyway, there we go. Have it. Okay. How many prints are in the collection? We've got about 600 online now, and I have no idea. We're maybe 10% of the way through. I haven't a clue. I'm sorry. I don't know. There are thousands and thousands. I don't have a world-class collection. You know, I have a collection of reproductions and this and that and small stuff, but I have a collection of beautiful, beautiful objects. So that's the idea. We're going to bring you as much as we can the beauty of the object rather than historical talk about the artists and stuff like that. Okay, I'm out of here. Thursday, I will be back here Saturday morning. It may be I'll be carving the same block, or it could be I will be already now carving the first print in next year's series, because they have prepared the tracing for me for that, and that's going to be my job coming up quite soon. What else can I say? Take care of yourself. You know what to do. Time to head out to the real world, such as it is. See you Saturday, guys. Thank you very much. See you then. And watch out for that email, what did you call it? An email blast coming out today or tomorrow. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.